Hey guys, Mocha and Mickey here. And if you're new here, my name is Ashley. We have 3 beautiful children who love Disney. I love Disney, and I'm here to discuss some of my tips and tricks with you and some experiences that I've had at the different parks. And today is going to be all about Magic Kingdom. And I think I may end up splitting this into a couple segments just because it's probably going to be long. But it's going to be all about the Magic Kingdom right now during the pandemic with your littles. So if you're like, I don't have any littles, you can exit out of this and like the video though. No, you can tune in and see how things have changed and just how great the parks still really can be for you and your family. So real quick, I wanted to jump in and say we have been to Magic Kingdom several times. Honestly, I've lost count. I want to say our oldest, who is 11, he's been every year almost of his life. So it's just a really fun time that we always experience as a family. We love going as a family. I do take solo trips, however, and that's a whole different video. But Magic Kingdom is literally, I probably would say, our favorite park. It's definitely my favorite park. I just love the history around Magic Kingdom and the attractions that are there, and also the good food. But I wanted to start with maybe what it looks like right now during the pandemic. So a lot of things have changed, and you know, it is what it is. So basically, if you know anything about kids, they play off how you are going to react to things. So if you are going in with stinky thinking, the kids are going to have that same thinking and quite possibly could ruin your trip, and you don't want that to happen because of the amount of money and time that goes into planning your special trip with your family and all the memories that you're able to hold on to after the trip as well. So right off the bat, I just want to say that if you go into it with a crummy feeling, that's probably gonna echo through your whole trip with your kiddos. So just be aware of that situation. Now, unfortunately, a lot of things that we love and that we know have changed, and it's just not the same. So as far as that goes, yeah, there's some not so great changes. But I will say I have had such a magical time going anyway that while I do miss those things, I do treasure the moments that I've had with our children, even during the pandemic times at Magic Kingdom. So one of the things that has changed recently, honestly, is the fact that you no longer have the character meet and greets. And I love character interaction. And if you know anything about character interaction, it can make or break your trip sometimes. So it's always good to gauge prior to the pandemic how you think your children may react to a character interaction. Some, it's a definite no, they will not. You have to meet them almost like you do now at a socially distanced area in order for your child to be comfortable. And that's okay. I would say 9 times out of 10, I would never push your children to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing. And I will echo that throughout this video, with that being with rides and other things too. So the character thing is a little bit of a letdown. But I will say Disney has come through in a huge way. They've changed their parades now to cavalcades. And if you've been there recently, you know what I'm talking about. The cavalcades are amazing. Now, we found out from a cast member on Main Street that was working on Main Street that they come down every 15 minutes on Main Street, and I can only imagine the amount of effort and skill and stuff that goes into planning those every 15 minutes, and how tiresome even the cast members could probably get from doing these cavalcades. And cavalcades are wonderful. They are full of music. They have, your dancers. They have the princesses and all your favorite characters. They have Winnie the Pooh even with Eeyore and Piglet. We saw Tigger. We saw every princess, and our girls, I will say, this trip that we just came back from, I would say, was probably our most epic trip yet, seeing all the princesses in the parade. They were more interactive than your normal cavalcade or your parade that would go down Main Street, which is also really cool. They point out a lot more to you specifically because, in fact, you are socially distanced from other people. So you can't stand shoulder to shoulder in Main Street. You have to be socially distant, which makes a really great actually experience for you and your family to be able to experience seeing the characters, interacting with them on Main Street. And I will tell you that there is nothing like standing on Main Street and seeing your most favorite character in front of Cinderella's castle. It is breathtaking, I will say that. And then you get to take it in with your littles and watch them and their faces light up, and the magic that is there is undescribable. So I actually don't mind the cavalcades as much. I actually would prefer them rather than the 3 o'clock parade that goes down Main Street daily. So another thing that has changed recently, obviously, to the whole world, I'm just gonna put my mug down, has been the fact that you have to wear a mask. And yes, this is not great in a comfort level for you. However, Disney has made it extremely easy to have mask breaks and also be able to pull off to the side and remove your mask and maybe take a drink, eat a snack. As long as you are not near someone else, you are able to do so. And I honestly really don't mind wearing masks. I'm from a state where we're required to wear masks, and I'm not going to get into any of the politics or anything around that. I will say, though, that it was very easy for our children to be able to wear a mask. Now, they are 8 and 6. So, they're a little bit older. They understand, not totally as to why they have to wear them, but they understand that it is the rule at Disney that they need to wear them, and therefore they want to experience Disney, so they have to wear them. I will say that it gets very, very warm. So if you have a 3-year-old, let's say, that just dislikes wearing masks, is constantly pulling them off, I would highly, highly suggest either training them prior to going to your trip, or if they just will not, I would not do it at this time. Only because, again, you are spending quite a bit of money, and you don't want to spend that time getting aggravated with your child who is 3 years old, who just can't wrap their mind around wearing a mask on a very warm and being sweaty day. You just don't want to do that. It's not going to be fun, and you're going to regret totally just making that decision for them and having them to have to wear the mask. And I will say, cast members, for the most part, are on it. So if you are not wearing your mask or it's fallen below your nose, they will ask you to put it back on. They will even ask your prince or princesses how old they are. And if they are 2 or older, they will need to wear a mask over their mouth and nose. So if your child cannot handle that, I would say it's a no-go. It would definitely be a deal breaker for our family if that were the case with our children, because we want them to have a ton of fun and we want to get the most out of our experience. And if they are upset and they don't want to deal with the mask thing, and it throws everything off, nothing about it is magical. So I wanted to share a couple of masks that I have, that I maybe purchased at Disney as well, because, you know, Disney freak. But this mask I actually got, we went back in July of last year when things just opened up. We were there actually the week they opened. And our children, like I said, were very used to wearing masks. So this was completely normal for them. I brought every day, I brought at least 2 per person extra masks, just so when we had a break, if they were sweaty, they could take it off and put a clean one on, a dry one on. If we went on Splash Mountain and we got soaked, who wants to wear a wet mask on their face? I do not. So, of course, I pulled out another mask. I will say the Disney ones are nice. This was one that they made prior to the new ones that came out, and it's just a double cotton. Now the new ones that they brought out now are actually more of a moisture wicking material, which is nice, obviously, for the heat of Florida. I don't mind this one. It is a little heavy, like I said. This was prior to them opening that I got that. There's also, this is all the rage because I'm obsessed with Spirit jerseys. So because they do so well in Spirit jerseys, they actually made Spirit jersey masks. This one is Disneyland. If you know about me, my sister actually is closest to Disneyland, and I love going to Disneyland. Yeah, that's another video. But this is really cool. The bands are a little bit stretchier, I would say, and they're a little bit more form-fitting. So this one is also a cotton. The masks also cannot be gaiters, so the ones like the scarf ones that you pull up over they will ask you to leave, or they will ask you if you have another mask with you. You are not able to wear them in the parks. Your children are not allowed either. They have to have one that covers their nose and their mouth. And then I have another one here that I made myself. It's a reversible one. This is great. I love this one. It's all cotton. I make my masks out of all cotton. And then that way I can pick whatever prints I want to match my outfits or my favorite character. And this one I love. I can wash it and line dry it. So I will say too, you want to make sure that you wash your masks that night and then line dry them so that you will have as many as you need throughout your trip, so you're able to replace them as needed. So that's and if you have a little lanyard, which our children love, I will say this is a big thing for our kids, their little lanyard. What you do is you just put them on the mask, and I love these because whenever our kids wanted a drink or they needed something to eat at Disney, you just put this around, your neck, and then when you want to take down your mask, it just sits here. So you're not laying it on a dirty table. Not saying that their tables are dirty, but I am saying that it makes it so much easier for you, and you're not scrambling, where's my mask, and all that. So that is about the masks at Disney. And like I said, if you are like, they are not gonna wear their mask, I wouldn't even bother until things change and that you're able to go maskless to the park. Another thing about Magic Kingdom that I will say, just recently, obviously, there's a lot more stations for you to wash your hands and also to hand sanitize. When we first went to Disney, when they first opened pandemic, after the pandemic. They had a lot more restrictions, and there was a lot more hand washing. There was a lot more time between people as far as like the attractions go, because they would spray each and every vehicle each and every time. And they would only allow one party per vehicle as well. So in the attractions, they would only allow, you know, your family. That's it. And then they'd have to spray it all down. These cast members were there every ride, spraying every seat, even if you had not sat in it. After you exited, they sprayed down everything, and then, you know, every so often they would close the whole thing and say thank you for your patience with us. You know, due to the wait time, it's because, you know, we're spraying down vehicles, we're spraying down, making it safer for you. So there are hand washing stations, which is really nice, because if you know anything about kids, all they do is put things in their mouth or touch things that are very dirty. So that is really nice. Another huge thing is food. So there is no dining plan right now. They just don't have it. They got rid of it. I will say there's a lot of benefits to having the dining plan, especially if you have some eaters in your family. They don't have it anymore. So just be prepared that you are going to have to do that every time you go to the park. You're going to need to plan out your meals and decide what you are going to spend that day and what have you. So most of the meals, if not all, are mobile order. So all your quick service, you're going to go up to the beginning of the restaurant or the entrance of the restaurant, and what they have is a code, just like a lot of restaurants do for their menus, and you scan that with your phone. Your phone is going to be your lifeline. Your phone is your lifeline right now, especially at Magic Kingdom, for your pictures, for your food ordering, for your reservations, for your tickets, everything. So make sure that you have a power bank available to you that you can pack in your bag, because you're gonna want it. They do have power banks in the parks, but they are $30. And then you have to pay to switch out the power bank. And it's just better to have your own, have it charged, have it ready to go, and you can pull that out whenever necessary. I will say that the mobile service is actually quite convenient, especially when you have a family, because you're not herding them all in the same area. You can go and find a spot to eat, to relax, to take off your masks, while the other family member maybe orders the meal, or even better, we have ordered snacks, Dole Whips, in a Jungle Cruise line. So while we were on our Jungle Cruise, we were able to order that and pop right over to the adventure aisle and get our Dole Whips afterwards, which makes for a really great time, especially when it's really warm out and the sun is just beating on you. So the mobile order is very convenient. However, if something crashes or whatever else, it's not very convenient. I will say there was only a couple of glitches, the few times that we've been since this is overtaken. So that is nice. They are really working. Disney is working to better their apps, which is very nice, because they've been pretty bad in the past. So that is about the food. Now, if you're looking for a character dining, I will say that there are a few, but character dining is not what it used to be. So character dining, the characters would come around and they would greet you and they'd take pictures with you. They would even sign autographs. That is not the case this time. So there are only a select few restaurants that are now opened to character dining. One of them is Chef Mickey's. Another is Topolino's Terrace. That's over at the Riviera Resort. Another one is that they have just opened up, I believe this past week, is Crystal Palace, and that is Winnie the Pooh and Friends. However, I did hear that they do not have the Winnie the Pooh and Friends right now with guests. So I'm not sure if they are bringing back soon, or how that's going to work. I know a lot of you like Ohana. Ohana, unfortunately, is not open right now. They have a phenomenal character dining experience. Garden Grill is opened. So, you know, it's not what it used to be. So if you're like, you know what, I really want to have that character dining experience, and I would rather just wait until they open up things. I mean, if this is your first time, or your second even, or your first time doing a character dining, I would wait. You know, save that money or spend it elsewhere on your trip. You are able to see the characters, like I said, in all the cavalcades. So if you take the time to maybe grab a snack and sit on Main Street, you're able to see those cavalcades every 15 minutes and not necessarily sit down in a restaurant and maybe catch a quick selfie with the character. But it's all about what you want and what you think your kids would like, and just how much you're willing to spend as well. We did, back in July, we did the Topolino's Terrace character dining, and I will say it was probably one of my most favorite memories ever. I will never ever forget it. I don't know if my kids will forget it, but I will not forget it, and how much fun it was with the kids too. They came out, the characters did come out several times. I haven't been back since, so I don't know if they are still doing as frequent as we had it back in July when they first opened up. At that time, that was the only character dining available, and they really went all out, and I think they rounded our table, oh gosh, five times maybe, and we were able to see each character that many times, and you know, we kind of shouted like, "Hey, Mickey!" So like he would stop, and I would be able to get, you know, a couple selfies with the kids and with me. And then what's great about Topolino's Terrace is afterwards you are able to go out on the balcony and you can see Epcot from there. It's beautiful. If you're willing to do it. And if you can get into there, I would highly suggest there. It's a beautiful dining experience. So another great dining experience, I would say, is their snacks, obviously. A lot of the snacks are coming back. So you're gonna have a lot of fun going down Main Street with your kids and picking out snacks. Now I will say we let our kids pick one snack each, and they each get to pick something. And favorites obviously include the Mickey bar, the Mickey pretzel, and the popcorn. So if you know about the popcorn buckets, good for you, because you know my little trick. But these popcorn buckets are really, really cute, and they are $10 in the park, okay? They hold about a bag and a half of popcorn. And what's great about these is that you can take these to every park. Even if you bought this in Magic Kingdom, you could take this to, say, Animal Kingdom maybe the next day, and you can get this refilled, all the refills you want. You pay $2 a refill for popcorn. So this is by far my most favorite child hack. So, you know, like kids, they get hungry all the time, and every time you turn the corner, or if they're bored, or if they're waiting for something, you're waiting in a line, they're hungry. They're instantly hungry. So I will say this is one of our greatest hacks alive at Disney World, is the fact that we can get them popcorn, and they can eat as much popcorn as they want. Because I am willing to pay $2 for this thing to be filled, for kids to be A-okay in their hunger pains. So this is kind of a really cool, nifty trick. It does come with a top. I take them off for at home, but it's fun too because then we use them at home when we watch movies, and they think that's really cool. They have different printed ones at all the different parks. They have a like safari one at Animal Kingdom, and one we recently got at Hollywood Studios is a Star Wars print, and my son is obsessed with that one. He thinks it's really cool. So I will say this is a great hack. So if you don't know about the popcorn, now you know. Another hack if you are staying at the resort at Disney World Resorts. So any of the resorts have these mugs that you can, they're refillable mugs. And, oh, my Mickey's falling. Him next to me. So this is the refillable mug. It's pretty cool. It does come with a top. For some reason, I have these things all without them. But, so it is a pretty awesome little tool to have. However, I see people with these in the parks. You can't use them in the parks. You can only use them at the resorts, the refillable at the resorts. So unfortunately, I don't know why Disney has not carried this over to their parks. So if you are a resort guest, you're able to put, your coffee in here or whatever, and you can bring it into the park. However, like, then you're carrying this around for really no purpose because it doesn't have like a really good, it's a coffee cup lid. So, you would leak this potentially all over if you just closed, slid the top over for it to be closed. We don't ever, honestly, we use these here and there, but we haven't used them in a while at resorts because we just don't feel that it's worth the money for us to do. There are people who love them and swear by them, and I say do what works for your family. Another huge thing is staying on Disney property. If you are with kids, you are probably gonna want to stay on Disney property. I know. But Ashley, it costs so much money. Why? Let me tell you, Disney does it right. You are it to them at Disney World Resorts. All the amenities are there. They treat you so well. They go above and beyond, making sure that your stay, your experience is top notch, and that you will continue, like our family, to come back for years and years to come. So you have all your, right now they still have the Magical Express, my favorite thing in the world, from MCO Airport right to the resort. So you just hop on and get right to where you are going for your resort. So they have that available to you. However, right now you have to handle your own luggage. They have not brought the luggage back to them taking it and putting it right to your room. You have to handle your own luggage, which is fine. But they still transport it on the bus with you. So I love the Magical Express, and I know a lot of you have heard they are going to, this next year, it's not going to be any longer. Now, I don't know what is going to occur. There's been rumors about different things, or they've been bought out by a different company or whatever. So we'll see where that lands. But I will say, when you stay on resort, it's just phenomenal. You have your pools and your activities if you want to have a resort day. They have washer and dryers at all the resorts. There's a laundry area at value resorts, as well as, say you're a DVC member, you have it right in your room. So there is major benefits to staying at a resort. They give you all the transport to all of the parks. They now have the Skyliner, which everybody is obsessed with. My husband particularly loves the Skyliner and only wants to stay at Skyliner resorts. And it's just a really good pull. Like, it's it's a great thing to have. A lot of people really, really like it. So another perk that they did take away too was the magic bands. Now you are still able to use the magic bands. However, you have to pay for them. And I'm like, okay. But I will say that having a magic band, the convenience of it is really great because you can just have your payment right on your magic band, your room key, and it's just in your tickets. So the convenience of it is really nice. However, the app is becoming a really, really big and strongly used thing in the parks. So magic bands really aren't that necessary. You can skip magic bands altogether. In the past, our children have lost magic bands, which is not convenient. But I will say I would probably skip it on your children, and maybe for you could keep it on your person. But I would say, you know, it's fun to wear. It's I always have enjoyed all the designs, and I have several, but I really, really like that perk as well when you stay at a resort. There are really cool things at different resorts, and I would say if you aren't spending, you know, all the time in the parks and you'd really love some down days, and you're like, Ashley, do I want to spend the extra money for the moderate resort? I would say yes, do it. Because you will not regret staying at a resort that's a moderate if you are planning on spending a couple days, just pool days, days that you're going to go to Disney Springs, and just relaxing days. You need those with kids. You have to have, I would say, you would need a relaxing day. You don't want to just push them day in and day out at parks. It's just not worth it. It's not gonna be fun. Kids are very resilient. However, when you add heat and you add walking all the day long and waiting in lines, that is a lot of stress on your body. And when your kids are not used to it and they're not used to the heat, or it's a lot of stimulation too, it's best to have a down day at your resort. And it's fun. You get to enjoy the pools. You get to see the activities, the restaurants that they have at your resorts too. There's always special treats that are special to resorts too. So that's always very, very fun. You can resort hop and check out the different resorts, which I enjoy doing. My most favorite thing to do is go to the boardwalk if I'm not staying on boardwalk property, and go and walk around there. They have an amazing boardwalk bakery. They have Beaches and Cream, which is phenomenal for ice cream. But there's just so much that Disney has to offer. So it's very, very important to have a down day, I would say, for children. I'm gonna wrap this session up by just saying that I think that even during the pandemic, it is very fun to go to Disney still. I will say the experiences are very changed and they're not the same. But if you're a regular at Disney, or if you go once every other year, you know what to expect at the parks, and the change won't bother you as much. I would say if it's your first time, there's really good things about it and there's really not so good things about it. So you really have to make that choice yourself. And I love going, and I eat, breathe, sleep Disney, so I don't mind going when there's a lot of restrictions on it. I go because I love that experience and that magic that you feel when you're there, and all the different things that you're still able to do. and just get a breather from the outside world too. It's kind of nice. So my next the next segment of this is going to be like what you want to bring in the parks with your children, when maybe it's time to go. And I hope you will come back for that one. Thank you so much for sticking in there with me, and please like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you, and I'm so glad I get to share my Disneyness with you all. And enjoy your day, and don't forget to get yourself a cup of coffee. Bye.